What's up, guys? The 2018 NFL season was a year in which plenty of teams made a surprise return to the postseason. The New Orleans Saints, New England Patriots, Philadelphia Eagles, Kansas City Chiefs, and Los Angeles Rams were the only 5 teams that qualified in both 2017 and 18. We had 7 new playoff clubs last season. Here's the parity. Well, the 2019 season will be like every other year. Some playoff teams from the previous years will fail to qualify, while teams that missed out in 2018 will bounce back and extend their seasons into January. I'm Jason Biondo, and today we present 10 NFL non-playoff teams from 2018 who will most likely make the postseason in 2019. Don't forget to leave your video ideas down below. We'll be looking, and if we choose your idea, we'll give you a shout out in the video. Make sure to subscribe to TPS and put on your notifications because we post videos every single day. Every day is a new video. Subscribe. But of course, we have a few honorable mentions. Detroit Lions. Adding Trey Flowers to that front 7 will do wonders. Adding tight end TJ Hawkinson in the draft was a huge win, but we just don't know if Detroit will be able to outlast 3 superior foes in the NFC North. Denver Broncos. The Joe Flacco Drew Lock combo at QB is better than anything the Broncos had from 2016 to 18. Noah Fant joins an offense that consists of stud playmakers Phillip Lindsay and Courtland Sutton. If the secondary holds up, and if the offense can be at least average, Denver could surprise with 10 wins and a playoff berth. Too bad their division has 2 legitimate Super Bowl contenders though. Carolina Panthers. If Cam Newton stays healthy, Carolina will always have a chance. If he's not 100%, then the Panthers are done. It depends entirely on his health, so stay tuned. Hopefully him sitting coach on that plane doesn't really affect his health. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Bruce Arians revived the Colts in 2012 and the Cardinals in 2013. Can he work his magic again? If Jameis Winston behaves himself, and the Bucs might shock the NFL. Now to the real list. Number 10, Buffalo Bills. Rookie quarterback Josh Allen showed some flashes in his first year, but as we expected, there were plenty of mistakes as well. That's okay. Allen will learn from it and get better in his sophomore year. Mind you, Allen could have done better in his rookie year if he had some help from the O-line and receivers. While GM Brandon Beane went out and signed slot receiver Cole Beasley and speedy deep threat John Brown. The Bills also signed stud center Mitch Morse and drafted offensive tackle Cody Ford in round 2. Adding Frank Gore and Devin Singletary to the backfield should do wonders as well. Ed Oliver, arguably the best and most polished prospect in the 2019 draft, joins a defense that allowed the second fewest yards last season. He, Tre'Davious White, and Micah Hyde are going to form one of the league's most punishing defensive units in 2019. Plain and simple. Winning 9 or 10 games to earn a playoff berth isn't out of the question in Buffalo. This team has all the pieces in place to compete now. The only question is if they're still too young and need another year or two. Number 9, New York Jets. It's easy to write off the Jets yet again, considering their clown-like move to fire GM Mike Maccagnan, especially right after the draft. It was a ridiculous decision to make. The timing of it was laughable, but let's not overlook all the work Maccagnan did before he got canned. Hiring Adam Gase as head coach was a move met with criticism, but he's one of the top offensive minds out there. Gase should be able to help Sam Darnold improve immensely after a rough rookie year. Even if it was an overpay adding Pro Bowl running back Le'Veon Bell, he can do it all as a workhorse running back and flashy pass catcher. Signing speedy and crafty slot receiver Jamison Crowder was a huge win as well. Also, Pro Bowl linebacker CJ Mosley joins a defense with 3 young cornerstones in place. Stud pass rushers Leonard Williams and Quinnen Williams, plus Pro Bowl safety Jamal Adams. The future, dare we say, is actually bright in New York. But it's the same case as we mentioned with the Bills. The pieces are there, but are the young guys ready for prime time? Or are they still a couple of years away from putting it all together? Number 8, Jacksonville Jaguars. We like to put the Jaguars higher on this list, but it's a shame that they play in an AFC South that features 3 other playoff caliber teams, 2 of them being Super Bowl contenders. At any rate, the Jaguars can't possibly be as bad as the team that finished last in the division with a 5-11 record. Even if free agent signing Nick Foles can't perform like he did in Philadelphia, he's at least a massive upgrade over Blake Bortles. The Jacksonville defense got even scarier with the draft selection of Josh Allen, not the Bills quarterback, the Kentucky linebacker. If Leonard Fournette can stay healthy, Jacksonville's rushing game should return to the dominant level it was when they reached the 2017 AFC Championship game. Thing is, even if the Jaguars play well and finish with 9 or 10 wins, it might not be enough to nab a wild card spot in the stacked AFC. But if Foles can play like he did with the Eagles, then Jacksonville will be a legitimate Super Bowl contender. Number 7, San Francisco 49ers. The 49ers were considered a dark horse team heading into the 2018 season, but the promising season ended when Jimmy Garoppolo suffered an ACL tear in Week 3. If he stays healthy and plays all 16 games for the first time, well, the 49ers have a chance then. Playing in the brutal NFC West isn't fun, but the 49ers look better than the Seattle Seahawks on paper at least. John Lynch added do-it-all running back Tevin Coleman in free agency, and he bolstered his front 7 with 3 marquee additions: Dee Ford via trade, Quan Alexander at free agency, and Nick Bosa with the number 2 pick. San Francisco might have the league's best front 7 in 2019, especially if Solomon Thomas and DeForest Buckner continue to improve. Garoppolo should have fun with George Kittle, who's coming off the greatest tight end season in history. And the running game will be ultra dangerous with Matt Breida, Jerick McKinnon, and Coleman. The 49ers really do have the chance to be something special in 2019. Is this the year it finally comes together for Kyle Shanahan and company? Stay tuned. Who knows? Number 6, Tennessee Titans. The Titans finished with 9 wins for a 3rd straight year, but they lost a winner-go-home Week 17 contest to the Indianapolis Colts. If Marcus Mariota was healthy for that game, maybe the Titans sneak in instead. While GM John Robinson had perhaps the best offseason among his peers. He added slot receiver Adam Humphries, veteran pass rusher Cameron Wake, and stud guard Roger Saffold in free agency. Robinson also hit home runs in the draft with Jeffrey Simmons, A.J. Brown, and Nate Davis. A defense that finished 3rd in scoring defense, just 18.9 points allowed per game, got even better. If Mariota is healthy, and that's a big if, the Titans might return to the playoffs. And they could even emerge as a dark horse Super Bowl contender. Number 5, Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings reached the 2017 NFC Championship game with career journeyman Case Keenum, but GM Rick Spielman believed that one simple upgrade at QB could help the team reach the Super Bowl. So he forked out $84 million in guaranteed money to Kirk Cousins. A good but not great quarterback. Cousins was unable to live up to the hype. That was only in year 1, but still, I mean, you get that much money, you gotta do well. Despite strong seasons from Adam Thielen and Stephon Diggs, the Vikings offense was a mess. Cousins couldn't beat the elite teams. Losing all those primetime contests, that wound up costing Minnesota a playoff berth. While the Vikings upgraded the O-line by nabbing NC State center Garrett Bradbury in the 1st round. A full season of Kevin Stefanski as offensive coordinator should help as well. As long as Cousins performs a tiny bit better in 2019, the Vikings will be one of the prime Super Bowl contenders. It's as simple as that. Simple as that. Number 4, Pittsburgh Steelers. After a promising 7-2-1 start to the season, the Steelers completely unraveled and lost 4 of their next 6 games, all in heartbreaking fashion. The Baltimore Ravens surged and took the AFC North crown from Pittsburgh, who missed out on the playoffs despite a 9-6-1 record. The Steelers' locker room was full of drama in 2018, but Le'Veon Bell is long gone. No problem there. Pittsburgh also had no choice but to deal a disgruntled Antonio Brown in the offseason. No way he could stick around. So the Steelers' offense probably won't be as dangerous as it was without AB and Le'Veon Bell. I mean, come on though, it's the Steelers. They've never had a losing season with Ben Roethlisberger. They went from no playoffs in 2009 to a Super Bowl 45 appearance the following year. They went from no playoffs in 2012 and 13 to 4 straight postseason appearances. Oh, and this roster is still kinda good. Big Ben, James Conner, and Juju Smith-Schuster will now form their own offensive triplets. The defense was a force in 2018. Pass rushing stud TJ Watt should only get better. And adding athletic linebacker Devin Bush with the number 10 pick should do plenty of good. Write off the Steelers if you want, but as long as Roethlisberger and Mike Tomlin are there, they'll always have a chance. The talent is there on both sides for the Steelers to return to the postseason, and they might even re-emerge as a Super Bowl contender as well. Number 3, Green Bay Packers. After reaching the NFC Championship game in 2016, there's just no way anybody could have seen the Packers registering 2 straight losing seasons. Granted, Aaron Rodgers was sidelined for half of 2017, but yikes. The team was a total disaster in 2018. Head coach Mike McCarthy was fired before the Packers finished up their season. Front office then made a curious choice to hire Tennessee Titans offensive coordinator Matt LaFleur as their new head coach. But if nothing else, he's a new voice and will refresh an offense that hasn't been all that efficient since Rodgers' 2014 MVP season. Maybe the offense doesn't have to be elite. The Packers added Zadarius Smith, Preston Smith, and Adrian Amos in free agency, plus Rashawn Gary in the draft. Their defense should be a top 5 or 10 unit in 2019. And with Rodgers leading the way, as long as he's at full strength, Green Bay should be able to return to the postseason in 2019. Number 2, Atlanta Falcons. After a rough showing in 2017, Matt Ryan and the Atlanta Falcons offense returned to top form in 2018. Unfortunately, the defense lost too many key players to injury. Star safety Keanu Neal was lost for the season in Week 1. And linebacker Deion Jones was limited to 6 games. Top running back Devontae Freeman only played 2 games. While the Falcons are poised for a return to the postseason in 2019, Ryan Freeman, Julio Jones, Calvin Ridley, Mohamed Sanu, and Austin Hooper lead one of the league's most prolific offenses. And they could be the NFL's most potent unit in 2019. The Falcons are loaded on both sides of the ball. As long as they don't go through that many injuries again in 2019, they'll be back in the playoffs. And they'll contend for a Super Bowl. Bank on it. Number 1, as expected, Cleveland Browns. What a time to be alive. The Cleveland Browns aren't going to be a laughingstock anymore. Rather, they have all the makings to be a legitimate Super Bowl contender again. It's unbelievable. The future was already bright with Baker Mayfield, Jarvis Landry, Nick Chubb, Denzel Ward, and Myles Garrett last season. Then GM John Dorsey went out and added one of the most dominant receivers in history, Odell Beckham Jr., in a trade with the New York Giants. The Browns also signed Sheldon Richardson to beef up their front seven, and they found a gem in cornerback Greedy Williams with the number 46 pick. He and Ward patrolling that secondary together? Wow. And Richardson and Garrett are going to wreak so much havoc on that defensive line. But it's really Cleveland's offense that will take off here in 2019. Mayfield already has the league's best wide receiver duo in Beckham and Landry. Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb will lead a dynamic rushing game as well. The Browns will so make the playoffs, and they'll be a prime Super Bowl contender. Cleveland fans, enjoy this. You deserve this more than anybody else. 2019 is going to be the start of something incredibly special. Which other non-playoff teams from 2018 have a chance at making it in 2019? Join me in the comments section below. Make sure to follow myself and TPS on social media. We post great content all the time. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. I post videos every single week, and they're really entertaining, so if you want more of me, you should go there. If you like this video, give it a like. It takes one click. Right down there. Subscribe to TPS, because we post videos every single day. Every day is a new video. Subscribe. Of course, thank you so much for watching. I'm Jason Biondo. My knee!
My knee!
Bye.